Yes, good morning once again. So today we are carrying out practical 7, which is all about spell check, find and replace, and thesaurus. So number 1, you've been told to open a new blank document. For you to open a new blank document, you simply go to the left bottom corner and you click on Start, then you type Word. Then you go to the options of the Word app installed in your computer, you click on it to open. You wait for it. Once it has opened, you choose the option for blank document. You click on blank document. You can come here and maximize, isn't it? So we've opened a blank. We have opened a blank document. After opening a blank document, you've been told, type the following paragraph exactly as shown with errors. Meaning the paragraph we have here has a lot of errors. Are we together? Yes. And you've been told to type it with those errors. Meaning we are not going to do text editing. All we are doing is text entry, isn't it? Yes. But for my case, I've already have the text here. All I can do is copy and paste. So I come and I highlight. I come and select the entire paragraph. Then I right click for copy, isn't it? Are we together? Yes. Then I go back to my Word document. Then I do what? I Ctrl+V to paste. Meaning it is just the same as typing it exactly the way it is with those errors. And we said errors are always underlined with red. Anything which has a spelling error or it is it's not an English word which is not in the dictionary of the program, it will be having a red underline. Are we together? Yes. Now, having done so, number 3, you've been told to run spell check and correct all errors. How do we run a spell check? First of all, you'll have to select the whole text. You want to run a spell check. Are you seeing that? For you to run a spell check, you go to Review, then Spelling and Grammar, or you simply press Function 7. Are we together? So first thing we'll have to do is to highlight the whole of this paragraph. You bring your cursor in front of M there. When it turns into that eye-like symbol, you hold. Meaning you go to the left click button, you press it and you don't leave, isn't it? Yeah. Then you move with the cursor until you've selected the entire paragraph. Then you unhold. You unhold, you don't click anything, isn't it? Yeah. So for you now to do the spell checks, you go to what? Review. You click on Review on the menu bar, then the toolbar for Review will pull up, isn't it? Now, when you are under Review, you go under Spelling and Grammar. Are you seeing Spelling and Grammar in the first column? Yes. When I click on it, are you seeing the first word in Spelling and Grammar has been taken? There's a new pane for proving on the right, isn't it? Yes. So you can see the spelling for Microsoft. It have been given suggestions here. So if this is the suggestion I want, I click on it. Have you seen it has been corrected? Yes. And the cursor has moved automatically to the next word with a spelling mistake, isn't it? Yes. So useful, I've been given suggestions, isn't it? Yes. And I just click on the suggestion which is correct, useful, I click. Are you seeing that? Yes. Then the cursor move automatically to the next word with a spell check. Are you seeing that? That was creating and I've been given a suggestion. So if this is the right suggestion, I click on it. Are we together? Yes. It takes me to the word. Next word with a spell mistake, isn't it? So it is the check. Which suggestion is correct here? The first suggestion, isn't it? Yes. I click on that. Then it takes me to the next one here, grammar, automatically. Are we together? Yes. Then I go to the suggestions. Which one is the correct one? Yes. The first one. Then I click. Then it moves to the next word with a spelling problem, isn't it? Automatically, isn't it? Yes. Helpful. Look at the suggestion. Which one do you want? Is it the first suggestion? Yes. Yes. Then I click. So if you see, once you are done, you've been told you finish checking your selection. What do you want to do? Do you want to check the rest of the document? No, I've done the part which I selected, isn't it? Yes. Then I just press OK, isn't it? Have you seen all the spelling mistakes have been corrected using spell check? Yes. Very good. Then we move to the next, that is number 4, isn't it? Yes. Use find and replace to replace the word tool with what? With application. I edited it in that hard copy, isn't it? So you go and search for the word tool and you replace it with application. What is the procedure of dealing with find and replace, isn't it? You simply go to home, then you click on replace. Then it will blink that dialog box for both find and replace. Are we together? Yeah. So you go to your Word document here, then you go under home. Are you seeing I've clicked home? Yes. Then the toolbar of home has popped. Then you can see here is find, here is replace. You don't click the find. You click the replace to bring a dialog box for both find and replace. Are we together? Yes. So click replace. Have you seen it has come? What do you want to find? You type it here. Are we together? Yes. So you go to the document, we were told to find the word tool. Are we together?
Yes.
So you go and find the word tool, meaning under find what you type tool. Tuko pamoja?
Yes.
Then replace it with the document you've been told to replace it with application. Are we together?
Yes.
Replace it with application. So under replace with, I type application. Then the next thing you do is to replace all. This toolbar, you can come on top of it here on its title bar here. Then you hold and you can drag it anywhere. Are you seeing? So when I click replace all, are you seeing all done? We have made one replacement, meaning there was only one word written tool in that document, isn't it?
Yes. Then
you just press OK. So this find and replace, you can close. Now, can you see the word tool has been replaced with application?
Yes.
That is how to use find and replace. The best way to get is you go under home, then you click on replace. Then that dialog box for both find and replace will pop. You type the word of what you find, then what you want to find, then you type what you want to replace it with, isn't it?
Yes.
Then replace all, it will replace all that word in the entire document. Are we together? Yes. That is how to use find and replace in number 4. So let us move to number 5. Select the word useful and then use thesaurus. Are we together? You use thesaurus to replace it with a synonym like helpful. So thesaurus normally deal with the synonyms and antonyms. The synonyms, the words with the same meaning, antonyms, the words with the opposite meaning, isn't it? Yes. So thesaurus, this is how to use thesaurus. The shortcut of dealing with the thesaurus is this. You are told to look for which word? Select the word useful, and you are going to use the thesaurus to replace with synonyms like helpful. Are we together? Yes. So this is what you do. You go where there is word useful and you click on it. Are you seeing the cursor in blinking on the word useful? Yes. So you take the cursor where it is. Are you seeing that eye is on the word useful? Yes. Then you right click for options. You right click for options. When you right click for options, are you seeing where it is written synonyms here? Yes. When you click on it, it is expand. It will give you some few synonyms. It will list for you some few, isn't it? But we don't need that. You go down and click the thesaurus. Are we together? Yes. When you click on this thesaurus, it will give you go to the right pane. You are searching for a word with a same meaning as useful, and you're told to use word like helpful. Are you seeing it even have a scroll bar there? Yes. You hold on the scroll bar to scroll. If there's helpful among them, are you seeing there's helpful? Yes. You right click on that word helpful. You right click. Are you seeing I've right click? Yes. Then you click on insert. Have you seen it has replaced useful with helpful? Yes. That is how to use thesaurus. Are we together? Yes. To find for the synonyms and the antonyms of a word in any document you are creating. Having done that, I can just click close to close that pane, isn't it? Yes. Then you move back. Number 6. Check grammar by right-clicking any green underlined text. Grammar check. Any green underlined text means that kind of text has a grammar problem, isn't it? But you can see this our paragraph here, there's no grammar problem. I can create a grammar problem. Like Microsoft Word is a very helpful application. So when I say Microsoft Word is, I can come where there is, then a backspace to delete. Backspace is deleting towards the left, isn't it? Delete key is deleting towards the right. Then I replace it with R. Are you seeing that? So when I replace it with R, what has happened? Have you seen R has been underlined? It depends with the program you're using, whether it is green underline or blue underline. What happens is that underline is for the grammar problem, isn't it? Yes. So how do you correct a grammar problem when you see that green or blue underline? You go to that word with grammar problem and you right click on it. Are you seeing that I symbol is on R? Yes. I right click on it, then it is giving me a suggestion that it should be is. Are we together? Yes. When I click on is, have you seen the grammar has been checked? Are we together? Yes. So when your sentences have grammar problems, there is a tool in the Word document to correct the grammar. Is that okay? Yes. Very good. Then on number 7, you'll be told, add a comment on the first sentence saying, this sentence is now correct. Instead of going to type this sentence, I can just copy it and I'm going to paste it where it is required, isn't it? But with you, you'll have to type it. Are we together? Yes. Add a comment. How do we add a comment in our document? Maybe you are a student who did some project and your project has been presented for marking. It is maybe a research paper. So the examiner is adding comment on where you need to do correction. So how do you add such comments? Isn't it? Yes. So for you to add a comment, it is a very simple process. All you will have to do is what? Is to select the text you want to comment on. You have to select first. Are we together? together? Then you go to review, then you go to what? New comment, and you type that comment. Are we together? So for you to add a comment, we move back. You first of all select the word where you want to add a comment, isn't it? And which word have we been told to add a comment? Add a comment to the first sentence, isn't it? So you'll know it is a first sentence where the first full stop is ending, isn't it? So the first full stop is ending here. So it means this is the first sentence, isn't it? So at the end here, I hold the left click button, then I move in the direction until I select the whole of that sentence. You have to select it first, what you want to comment on, isn't it? Yes. After selecting, I go to review. Have you seen we are in key review? Yes. Then there's this column. Are you seeing this new comment here? Yes. I click on a new comment. Then I will come here. Are you seeing there's a dialog box on the left pane there? Yes. A sort of a window. Are you seeing it is blinking for me to type the comment I want to add? Yes. Then for me, instead of me typing, I've already copied it elsewhere. So I simply Ctrl+V to paste it. Isn't it? Have you seen that comment has been added? This sentence is now correct. Then I click reply. So that comment has been added. So when I close it, you can see I click anywhere. This is the symbol for comment. Umeona? When I click on it, it is showing me the comment on that sentence. This sentence is now correct. Are we together? Yes. There's another way, because you will be showing the researcher or the student the comment you made there. You can hide it or you can unhide it. So for you to show this comment, this is what you go to review, then you see, you go under show comment. Are you seeing that? Yes. Are you seeing the show comments? Yes. Then you click on show comments. Have you seen comments have been shown on the right hand side of that given document? Yes. Are you seeing how to show comments? Yes. Or you can have the same comments on that given document, but you can hide it, but it is there because the symbol for comment is here. When you click on it, you are able to see the comment, isn't it? Yes. But again, you can print it out with the comment shown, because sometimes it is a document you wanted to present it back to the student in form of a printout, isn't it? Yes. So for you to do that, you have to go to review and show comments. And when you go there, using the comment you made is being shown there. Yes. Very good. Having done that, let me now remove the show comment. Having done that, we are moving to number 8. The number 8 is the usual. We've been doing from practical 1 to practical 6, isn't it? For you to save this document, you go to files in the menu bar, you click, then you click save or save as, because we are doing it for the first time, isn't it? Save as is basically used when you want to change a location or create a duplicate of a document, isn't it? So when you click, you browse a location. Different Microsoft versions have different ways of saving as, isn't it? So here, you simply go and click on browse, then a window will pop up. For you, first of all, you rename it, isn't it? But with us, we are advantageous. I can click backspace to delete all that text there, isn't it? I can search for that location first because there are projects I've saved in the past with the same format, isn't it? So on the left pane, there are different locations and there's a scroll bar here. I take the cursor to the scroll bar, I hold, then I scroll to look for that location. Are you seeing that? So if the location is desktop, I click on desktop. Then on the right pane, you can see different folders on the desktop, isn't it? With this thrown scroll bar here. So I take the cursor to the scroll bar, I hold, then I scroll to look for that folder I created, isn't it? And the folder I created for saving them was this folder ICT-Prac. I can double click to open and see what is inside. Have you seen all the practicals have been saved in the same format? Yes. Practical _1 _ Peter _ the same process of typing that underscore have been explained in all those practicals, isn't it? All I need to do is to click on any. Then once clicking on any, don't press save, come and click because you want to edit it. You ensure it is not highlighted. Put the cursor to blink in front of 6, isn't it? When it is in front of 6, you use backspace to delete towards the left, then you type 7. Have you seen you've used an existing naming to create a name of saving your new document? Yes. Are we together? Yes. Or if you don't like that, you simply come and do what? And do everything. Put caps lock on, write capital P, remove caps lock, practical, then you hold shift and press the key for hyphen. We'll change it to underscore because that's the second operation, isn't it? Then hold shift to change the second operation of hyphen. It will change to underscore, isn't it? Yeah. I put the caps lock on to write capital P. I remove caps lock to go back to small letter, Peter. The extension .docs you don't put because this is a Word document. We'll put that extension automatically. Are we together? Yeah. Just click save. You'll find practical 7 has been saved in that folder. Can you go and carry out practical 6 and 7? Remember, I keep on repeating.